Is there anything else that you want to bring up, Jake, that's important to you or something on top of your mind?
Oh man. So we talked about the ROI between America and Israel, the return on investment. That's a big one for me for military purposes. I want to go a little bit deeper into the fact that Israel is the main reason because right now everybody is worried about how much money the United States is spending. If you're not talking about welfare and welfare reform in the United States of America, but you're talking about the money that we send to Israel, either you're completely ignorant about the bottom line budget for the United States of America, or you're doing it to hate on Jews. But more than anything else, why the United States of America is so secure right now and the Middle East is actually not that volatile, especially compared to what it would be if you take out Israel, is because Israel exists. Israel exists as the vanguard for the West. And when you're trying to take down Israel, what you're trying to do is you're trying to take down the West. And it's insane. And I don't believe you when you tell me that you want us to disassociate from Israel while at the same time telling me that you're America first. Those two things right now aren't hand in hand. It's not strange at all. I know why you're doing it. And I want you to be honest, but you guys are cowards. You don't have the honesty to say, look, I'm doing this because I just don't like Jews and I just don't like Israel. Um, I can actually go into the 5 reasons why Israel deserves to have Israel. Okay, ascending order. All right, modern state of Israel. Why should it exist? First and foremost, legally, Israel has the right to be there right now. Whether that be the Peel Commission, whether that be the Balfour Declaration, whether that be the UN resolution from November 29th, 1947, Israel has the legal right to exist where it does. The United States recognized Israel, then Russia, the Soviet Union, recognized Israel because they agreed to the UN resolution, which was actually a 3-state plan, not 2, a 3-state plan, because you had on one side of the Jordan River, you had Transjordan come Jordan, in other words, turned into Jordan. Then on the other side of the Jordan River, you had the Jewish homeland and a secondary Arab homeland. I'm sure mostly people listening to this and getting upset aren't that good at math, so let's do that again. One on the one side of the Jordan River, one on the other side of the Jordan River, and then another one on the other side of the Jordan River. That's a 3-state plan. So I just want to put that out there. Everybody that says 2-state solution, like, no, the Arabs already have a state and it's called Jordan. And the people that run Jordan, that's the Hasmonean, let's make that, excuse me, that's the Hashemite dynasty, which comes from the Arabian Peninsula, which is nowhere near Petra and Jordan and all of that. So you guys already had that. With all of that being said, I don't care. Israel accepted the UN resolution and has a legal right to it. That's why Israel exists. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So we've got one. Number 2. Now, this is where I'm so riled up for this. Okay. Number 2, indigeneity. I'm not the biggest fan of indigeneity because I think we talked about this last time. If you go to Japan, all of the Japanese clans, they fought each other. If you go to China, well, China was about to get overrun by all of the Mongols, and the Mongols overran everybody else. Everywhere you go, somebody has probably been there and defeated another person. So when it comes to indigeneity, okay, it's not my biggest, like, we got to put our flag down here because we were here first. But if we're talking about a contested place, and Israel is absolutely a contested place, we were there first before the Philistini, which are not in any way connected to the current Palestinians in no way, shape, or form. That was a seafaring people from the Mediterranean. So if you're looking at should Jews have a right to have a Jewish state in Israel, absolutely yes, because Jews are indigenous. That's where Jews hail from, Judea. My real biggest pet peeve is all of the people who claim to hate colonialism using the term the West Bank, because the West Bank only came into vogue in 1948 with Jordan. The actual term that has been around for 2,000 years is Judea and Samaria. And let's just kick off to the side Samaria and focus on Judea. Do the Jews come from Judea? What do you think, Aaron?
I would say yes.
Yes, Jews come from Judea. So if you want to do indigeneity, which everybody in Columbia and Harvard wants to talk about, does that count? Absolutely, that counts. So that's number two. Shall we move to number three, or do you have a question on that first?
No, let's go to my number three. You're on a fucking roll, mate.
Okay, decolonization. The Jews actually deserve Israel because it's a decolonization effort. We were there thousands and thousands of years ago, and now, in the day and age where everybody hates on colonialism, the Jews were the ones to decolonize Israel. They decolonized it from the British. Nobody likes the British until it comes to Israel. Then it's okay that it was the British who also, by the way, handed over all of their forts and whatnot to the Arabs. That's fine. It didn't matter. We'll get to that in a second. But when it comes to decolonization efforts, Israel, the modern state of Israel, is the greatest decolonization effort in history, bar none. And everybody hates that because the Jews did what nobody else could, which was decolonize the land. And they did so against the highest and most ridiculous odds. But Jews are pretty fucking good at shit. And that's why we were able to decolonize it. Anything on
Sick.
that? Are we going to four?
No, we're going to four, dude. I'm letting you
All
rock.
right, sweet. Four. And this is because I'm a farm boy. And yes, I said ascending order. So these are actually getting in more importance in my eyes. So number four, squatters' rights. Israel, as we know it today, was a shithole. If you look at Mark Twain, I believe the book is Abundance from 1864. I might have the year wrong, but in Mark Twain's book Abundance, he has that quote about it being a desolate wasteland because it was a desolate wasteland. Then, in the multiple aliyot and the multiple, how do I say this in English, migrations from various areas around the world, you had Jews come in and completely reform the land of Israel. So, again, for everybody who's on the left and wants this world to be a better, more beautiful place and to give Mother Earth what she is due, right? All that stupid mumbo jumbo hippie shit, all of that, the Jews did that in Israel. They turned malarial swamplands into the beautiful city of Tel Aviv. Tel Aviv, which is barely 100 years old at this point, was nothing. It was literally a diseased malarial swampland, and the Jews completely transformed it. And once the Jews were able to take control of Jerusalem in 1967, after it was illegally occupied, by the way, by Jordan from 1948 to 1967, Israel also transformed Jerusalem as well. So if you're talking about who are the people that deserve a land, do you have the people who treat the land like a piece of shit? Or should you have the people who care so much about the land that they're going to transform it into a thing of beauty? That's the squatters' rights. The fact that the Jews have such a strong connection to the land that they have completely terraformed it essentially into this beautiful area in an area that has no natural resources. Yet, if you're Christian, if you're Muslim, if you're atheist, it doesn't matter who you are, it doesn't matter your skin color, and it doesn't matter your sexual orientation. If you go today to Israel, you will see a beautiful, beautiful land. And that's because the Jews cared about the land so much that they transformed it completely, unlike its previous inhabitants.
Rock on. All right, what's number five?
Oh, yeah. This one. This one. So, number five is right of conquest. This is the Middle East. This is Arab violence versus Western righteousness. If you start wars and you lose the wars, you lose your land. Everyone has known that that is the rule for the fucking entire history of mankind. But all of a sudden, only in Israel does that change. Absolutely not. You started a war in 1947. You put a siege on Jerusalem in December 1947, and then you lost that war with six Arab nations. Then you tried again in 1967 in the Six-Day War, and you didn't just lose, you got a counterstrike, as Sabaton, one of my favorite songs to work out to, but a counterstrike. Israel hammered Syria. Israel hammered Lebanon and Jordan and Egypt and won that war and gained more land. Then these Arab nations tried to destroy Israel completely on Yom Kippur in 1973, lost that one too. So when you continue to lose land because you continue to lose war, Arab law, uh, desert law says you don't get that land. And guess what? The Jews won all of those wars. So if you guys want to try to take Israel, go right ahead, but let's at least have a fair fight about it. Because if you want to fight, even if you want to do unfair fights and sneak attacks, when you want to start wars and then lose wars, you don't get to bitch and moan about the fact that you lost war and that you lost land. That's not how this has ever worked anywhere in the history of mankind. And we know that because you and I are sitting in the same country, albeit a completely different time zone from one another, but it's because the United States of America kicked some serious fucking ass. Did we do so in really fucked up ways sometimes with the Indians and Jeffrey Amherst in Amherst, Massachusetts with the smallpox blanket? Yeah, we did. But at the same time, you know what? Rules of war didn't really take into effect until this century. So if you keep stealing, if you keep starting wars and losing wars, you fucking lose your land too. Ask the Japanese or the Chinese or the Russians everywhere around the world. This is how war is conducted, and so too is the aftermath of wars. So, why does Israel actually have a right to be Israel? Because it has the legal right, because it has the indigeneity right, it has the decolonization right, it has the squatter right, and most importantly, it has that right because it won its wars by right of conquest in wars that it did not start. Nobody else has a right to that land. It's only Jews, and Jews who have an egalitarian democratic society that Christians and Muslims and Baha'i and Druze and everybody that lives there lives equally. No apartheid. It's an equal, wonderful bastion of Western philosophy in the Middle East.
Thank you very much for tuning in to that clip. If you enjoyed it, then you'll love the full-length episode right here. Right here. Click it. Go ahead.